everyone, this is Penny from Astrology, and I'm here with your 2021 predictions for Virgo. This includes Virgo Sun, Virgo Moon, and Virgo Rising. So if you're any of those three, keep watching, and maybe you're just nosy, or you're like Virgo's BFF, and you want to know what's going on with them. So feel free to keep watching with that too. First, we're going to start with something super fun, and we're going to get you an animal guide reading for the year of 2021, and this is basically just about what animal's wisdom you can benefit from with what you're going to be facing this year. And then we're going to start to understand that more throughout the video as we draw cards about actual life events and things that are going to be going on for my Virgo people. All right, so I'm just going to keep shuffling until I get the signal from Spirit to stop. Okay. Ooh. So this is a caribou. I'm glad I read the text because I'm not like a caribou expert. I would have been able to tell the difference between like a caribou and a deer and elk. Like, I don't know. I barely know the difference between a deer and an antelope. So if you understand the difference, leave it in the comments below. I don't know. That's not my area of expertise. But this caribou says it has to do with cycles of life, rebirth, and abundance. So I know it is going to have some overlap with the spirituality of a deer, where this year is about taking in wisdom, but it's also about using your own personal strength and feeling connected with the earth. So this is a really good year to activate your root chakra, to work on that so you feel strong and you feel supported with things around you. But then once you get that strong, good foundation, you build up from there and you start working on things more having to do with self-expression, self-esteem, and then your connection to spirit ultimately. So like I'm feeling that the most important chakras are going to be the root chakra, the crown chakra, and maybe the third eye chakra for you in the year 2021. So you can feel that connection to spirit, but you also feel those kind of earthy attachments, and you feel like you have something you can rely on and something you can trust. I know Virgo can be a sign that's very prone to anxiety. Like when I think of anxiety, I mostly think of 3 astrological signs, and that is Gemini, Virgo, and Aquarius. Those are the ones that are most prone to anxiety, and the more you have of those 3 signs in the chart, sometimes the more likely you are to deal with anxiety. So yeah, especially if you are someone who deals with anxiety, this is a very important thing to keep in mind for the year 2021. And it's not saying that anything bad is going to happen. It's just saying that your own personal sense of strength and your ability to feel comfortable and safe is extra important this year. Now we're going to go ahead and draw cards for different areas of your life, hopefully to relieve some of the anxiety that I probably caused by implying that 2021 was not going to be totally perfect. And if you've been watching the news like me, I'm not even watching the news. I'm seeing it on Facebook, to be honest. I'm seeing that there's already new strains of the coronavirus, which I kind of knew was coming. And that means that from my understanding and from what I've seen as an astrologer, it means that the vaccine is not going to solve our problems in terms of the virus. So again, I'm just shuffling to, all right, until to stop. We're going to see what's going on in different areas of your life in 2021. All right, so the first card here I'm getting is the 8 of Cups. So there's some stuff from the past that you have to move away from because it was negatively affecting you emotionally. So there's some baggage we have to kind of get rid of, and that's a theme for the year. I am seeing that you're going to be actively doing this. It might be hard to cleanse yourself from some of these negative ideas, from these negative past relationships that you're trying to leave behind. So I am going to ask for more clarification on that later on. And then the next card we have is the Ace of Cups. I'm feeling that this is a really beautiful blessing that is coming into your life. And it's really just about, I don't even know how to phrase this. It's like a very spiritual perspective on money. It's going to be about feeling emotionally cared for as well as being physically cared for. And it's kind of changing the way that you view resources. So if you've had issues in the past, maybe about not getting paid what you're worth, I feel like every Virgo or everyone with Virgo heavy placements has this issue. They don't get paid what they're worth. it's going to change your perspective on that, and it's going to give you a healthy, more loving perspective on your financial exchanges and the exchange of your time for your money and all that kind of thing. So that's really beautiful, really exciting news for you financially. In terms of communication, I'm feeling like there's going to be a lot of kind of aggressive people in your life who are trying to force ideas down your throat. It might be people who have like really passionate political opinions, who, you know, they want to argue. It's not even that they want to argue. They don't want you to talk back. They want you to just kind of accept their opinion. So we're going to be dealing with some people who are kind of abrasive in the year 2021, who we might not really want to deal with. So I think I might want to draw more cards on this, see how we can make the best out of those situations, or if that's someone we just need to avoid. All right, so I'm seeing a lot of dissatisfaction in the area of home and family. It's mostly just the typical like, oh my gosh, I can't keep my house as clean as I want to, and those just typical frustrations. It's probably because you're going to be very busy and there's something going on in your home that seems to require a lot of maintenance this year. It could be something like in the foundation or the roofing that is leaking, like some kind of problem. So I want more information on that too, so we can perhaps prepare ourselves for that. Yeah, it's obviously going to be different for everyone though. So this reading can only be so specific. It's general. Okay, so next we have the 9 of Wands that is appearing. And I feel like, you know, Virgo went through such a grand time of exploring the creative energy that fuels their life, because Virgo is a very creative sign, but a lot of times Virgo has suppressed their own creative inclinations because they're down on themselves, they're overly critical of themselves. So this, I'm seeing it's something you're still worried in expressing. You still have a lot of stuff to kind of work through before you can break free and, you know, live your life more passionately and express yourself more fully. And this is something that also, if you learn to do this and you kind of overcome these fears and these worries, it can help you in your career. It can help you in your love life. It can help everything just kind of flow more beautifully and bring more joy into your life. So I feel like I want more clarification on all of these cards, honestly. All right, so there is going to be progress in your career. Your daily life is going to be busy but structured enough that it's not chaotic. So this is going to be a year where you really get to go after things and you're pursuing your goals. So we do want to make sure that that goes as smoothly as possible. So in terms of relationships, most Virgos are not going to have new people coming into their lives. You know, maybe you have other influences in your astrological chart, in your soul's path that indicate otherwise, but most Virgos are not having new people coming into their lives. It's about reflecting on the relationships that we already have with existing people and, you know, figuring out what they've contributed and what their ultimate role is in our life. So this might be about kind of, you know, categorizing or people, and some of those people, like I said at the beginning, some of those people you have to do away with from your life. That sounded extreme the way I said it. I didn't mean it to be that extreme. You might have to kind of, you know, set them over here, not let them be an active part of your life as much anymore. And then some people you might decide to prioritize them a little bit more in the year 2021, just based on what they've given you, based on what they've done for you. And it's not that you're selfish for doing that. It's a healthy mentality that you're kind of reinforcing. It's not your first rodeo, but you're reinforcing this for yourself in the year 2021, just making sure those relationships are healthy. All right, next we have the Judgment card. So if you have someone in your life who owes you money or some tax money that hasn't been paid just yet, this is showing that there's some kind of conclusion that's going to be made regarding that. It could also potentially be a legal issue. It could be an inheritance. And I'm not, unfortunately, I'm not seeing like money specifically coming in from this source. I'm seeing it come in from other sources. So this might be like you accepting that you're not going to get the inheritance that you have been, I don't want to say fighting for, because I know like you're probably not like trying to be petty about it. It looks like you're willing to let it go, but whatever money has been owed to you, you're kind of accepting, yeah, that person who did me dirty, it's whatever. I can't do anything about it. And I'm just seeing acceptance over that. Like most of us are not actually going to get the money that was owed to us for whatever reason, but we're going to have money coming in from other sources. So maybe it doesn't really matter. Maybe all is fair in the end. So it's going to help us kind of deal with that. We have good financial resources coming in anyway. All right, next we have the Hierophant. So this means it's going to be a big year for expanding upon our spirituality. We are likely to even specifically have a mentor coming into our lives. It's probably someone we've already met before, probably someone we are already familiar with, who we just start to learn from them a little bit more. And it opens up our mind, and it helps other things in our life flow with more grace, and it will help improve our relationships with things like money and help us figure out which romantic relationships, which family relationships, and which friendships are actually healthy for us and which need to be set aside. We got the Sun for our career card, which is, it's a happy card, but it's also, it can be a little overwhelming at times. It can be a little bit like, you know, there's so much good news, I don't even know what to do with it. So it's a really good sign of things coming into our career, of us getting more recognition in what we do. It's a great sign. I'm just getting good vibes from that. Like, honestly, I try to include like negative interpretations for things, but I'm just getting good vibes from this. Career looks good in 2021 for Virgo. In terms of friendships, there's going to be something really stressful. I feel like one specific friend of yours is dealing with some type of severe emotional issue that is very stressful, and what makes it stressful is your ability to help them is going to be kind of limited, and they want you to help, but there's really like only so much you can do, and you're also going to be pretty busy. Like with some of these other cards that can come up, I can tell you're going to be pretty busy in 2021, so you might not actually have much time to be able to help them. And aside from not having time, like there's only so much you can do. So some of this friendship stuff is going to be kind of stressful for you in 2021. I'm probably going to draw more cards on that as well. So the spiritual underlying forces in 2021 are things are happening for you in 2021. Things are going the way that Spirit has planned. It's destiny kind of playing out. There's other forces working in your favor, and it's not just you all on your own. And yeah, I just feel like this is a really good, powerful, transformative year for Virgo in 2021. I've gotten good vibes from so many of these cards here. There is some concerning relationship stuff. There is some need to set boundaries with certain friendships, certain family relationships, and you know, you might be kind of choosing between, like I said, you're probably not going to really meet any new love interests in 2021, but you're probably going to be deciding which love interests and which people are actually worth pursuing romantically, and which are the ones that are kind of just wasting your time, wasting your energy. So I think the ones that I really want to draw more cards on are this. I want to know why we're still having trouble expressing ourselves creatively. I want to know what is going to be going on with the home situation. And this person with the aggressive communication, I want to know about them as well. And I think if we get more information on those three, we'll in turn get information about some of the other things that were a little bit unclear, or not clear enough, rather, in the first part of this reading. Okay, so switching decks here. All right, first I'm going to ask about the home situation because that's probably the thing that we have the most control over, and there's probably some preventative action that can be taken to avoid disaster, and that'll also probably save us money if we can take action now instead of later. All right. What is this home situation that we're dealing with? Okay, first card that came up has a ladder in it. So it likely does have something to do with something that's either above or below. You'll either have to climb up or down in order to deal with it. If you have stairs in your house, it might be an issue with the railing with the staircase or something like that, which I know is scary. So definitely get those checked. But yeah, it's most likely going to be something along those lines. And like I said earlier, it could be something in the foundation and it could be something in the roofing as well. All right, the card that came up crossing it is the Fool. So with roofing, it's likely that there's some type of water damage or water buildup. Kind of same thing with foundation. There could be like a water issue coming below. And I know that's not like, if you do tarot, you might be like, that's not what the Fool means. But this one specifically has a lot of water in it, and it makes it like the feeling I'm getting from this is there's like, this is going to sound extreme, like spiritually there's like water that's been living in places where it's not supposed to be living, and like a water buildup that has begun somewhere. Okay, so what is going on above is the Wheel of Fortune card, and this specifically is a man on a web. This could mean that there's some kind of issue with spiders as well. That is a very literal interpretation of that though. And then the card below is the Lovers. What does that mean? That is really odd. Okay, I'm going to draw more cards before I say anything else about that. Okay, in the past we have 10 of Coins, in the future the Chariot, the Tower, Ace of Wands, Knight of Wands, and the Two of Swords. So I feel like part of what's going on is that you have like a neighbor or someone who lives near you, or if you're renting, it could be someone who owns the property who wants to do additional work on the property, and it might be because, you know, they felt like there was some other type of issue and they want to do this work because they feel like it's going to be in their best interest to do it, but it's going to end up causing some problems for you and your family. Yeah, and it looks like they're kind of planning to do it anyway, regardless of how you feel. So I'm not sure if there's anything we can do to actually prevent this situation. And you do have some say in it though. This is showing that it's kind of your decision, and like even though they're so headstrong convinced that this is the best thing to do and this needs to be done, and they're happy about it, they might even be like particularly charismatic when they approach you about it, you know, charming, happy, good mood, like, yeah, we're gonna do this awesome thing and there's absolutely nothing bad about it. So it'll be easy to say yes, but this card, the Two of Swords, is showing us that ultimately you do have a say in it, and if you're not okay with it, there's something you can do. So I am just wondering, like, how bad is this actually going to be? Which I guess, I don't feel like it gave us that much information about how bad it's going to be. This card implies that it's nothing like totally disastrous, but then the Tower came up too, and that implies that it is at least going to disrupt our lives. It's going to be disruptive. So we're just going to ask Spirit for some advice on how to deal with this for our own sanity and for the well-being of our own home and our own family. All right, so be very careful in what you say to them. Make sure you're speaking in a way that emphasizes that you want to be able to protect your property, you want to be able to protect your own investments, and you're not just going to let them come swoop in and uproot things for you. So be kind of defensive in the way you communicate. And do not let them sway you. Okay, so the Page of Wands can be like a little bit ambitious without direction at times. So this is showing that you might be vulnerable to their manipulation, which might not even technically, like, might not intentionally be manipulation, but it's kind of just like they're so convinced that this is the right thing to do that it's going to be easy for them to convince other people as well. So don't let them manipulate you. Make sure you're protecting your own investments. Okay, so I'm going to come over here first. Okay, there's something going on where you're going to want to be able to keep your own options open. So I would say this means avoid signing anything and just make sure that nothing they're doing takes away from your own options and your own things that you're able to do with your time and with your investments. And I feel like this is basically saying just don't let them make decisions for you, because they might even tell you that this is going to create profit for you or benefit you in some way, and it's really because they believe it's going to create profit for them. But I feel like you need to like let your mind explore the obscurities of this and like look at it from a very objective point of view. Understand, you know, what they're trying to do and which parts of it are in your best interest versus which parts of it aren't. Such a dramatic card. Okay, so definitely take things slow in your action. Do not be too hasty to respond to them with a yes or a no. Like, be watchful and make sure that they're being careful as well. They're not pursuing anything with too much haste. You know, this person, they seem to have a lot of optimism about what's going on, and you need to kind of slow things down. You need to make things more stable, and you need to listen to your own intuition. Hopefully they're listening to their own intuition as well. So like in regards as to whether or not you agree to let them pursue this project, that is something to keep in mind. Do not let them, basically don't feel shame if you end up deciding that it's best to say no and not letting them pursue this project. Don't feel any shame about it. All right, this card is basically just reminding us that you are the one in charge, you are the one with the final say, and don't let them manipulate you. That's basically what we're getting from this. Don't let them manipulate you. Listen to your intuition. Focus on your own investments and what is best for you and your family. It's pretty straightforward. All right, next we want to know about, you know what, I feel like that might also be the person who has the aggressive communication. That partially explains it, but I feel like there was someone else I was sensing as well, so I'm still going to draw more cards on that. But I want to know a little bit more about these creative blockages and what you're actually dealing with here. Why are you still feeling that you are blocked from expressing yourself, from experiencing joy? What is going on? What is this blockage? I mean, obvious answer would be that it is your solar plexus chakra that is blocked. It's the obvious answer. Maybe your sacral chakra too. That makes even more sense. Sacral chakra. Would honestly probably both of them. Okay. Yep, so it's past pain. You might feel like it when you put yourself out there, or you let yourself feel too much, or you express what you're feeling too much, it only just causes you pain. So it's caused you to kind of hold back a lot and not want to express things, and you isolate yourself because of this as well. And I feel like you're always kind of like ready to let other people take the lead because of it too, letting other people tell you what it is you should want, what it is you should be doing next, because you've blocked yourself off because you feel too much pain when you express yourself. And then it's also kind of caused you to not listen to yourself. So Remember, this one's a deer, I'm pretty sure, but this caribou came up earlier, and they look so similar. Caribou, deer, apples, oranges. This is telling you, you do need to listen to your own intuition. You do need to feel secure. And it's not about someone else figuring out for you. It's not about your parents guiding you or anything like that. Because I feel like you've taken too many signals from other people and you've suppressed yourself because of it, which is causing you more pain. It's only perpetuating the pain. You might feel like you locked yourself off because you wanted to protect yourself from more pain, but I feel like it's actually perpetuating the pain. And like your inability to listen to yourself, it prevents you from being productive, because then you feel like you don't actually know what you're meant to do, or maybe you just listen to what everyone else thought you were meant to be doing. And it wastes time when you don't listen to your own inner signals, your own inner desire to express yourself. So we are going to be making some progress this year with this. It's going to be kind of like baby steps, like little things here and there. Like maybe you start doing positive affirmations. Maybe you partake in like a small creative hobby every day. Maybe you start working on your sacral chakra a little bit more. Just small steps all throughout the year to help you get through this. And like, you already know this is a problem. You already know that it's something that you want to be able to rise above so that you can grow as a person, so that you can transform your life, so that you can live more wholly. But you still have some haters. You have some people around you who are judging you. And if you find yourself vulnerable to them, that can create a step back. So where you're making progress and you're making step forwards every day, these people who are being kind of sneaky, looking for an opportunity to attack you, if you let them manipulate you, it'll cause you to take a step back. I feel like that's been a big theme for Virgo this year. Don't let people manipulate you. Create your own strong foundation, like the caribou said. This is showing us that you have a very important decision to make this year, and it's not just about how you feel about yourself. It's bigger than that. It's about honoring yourself. It's about being true to yourself, and that's really the only correct answer. And the outcome is that you will be able to create more stability. You will get a more clear vision of your future and what it will entail once you start taking these steps. And like I said, it's going to be little baby steps kind of all throughout the year. But if you take the advice of the caribou and you ground yourself and you listen to your intuition and you let yourself feel supported, so that you can almost be fearless, so that you can act with more bravery, because you know in your heart everything's going to be okay, because you've grounded yourself and you've listened to your intuition. If you know in your heart that everything's going to be okay, then you can be a little more brave. You can be a little bit more bold this year. And that will be good for you. And it'll contribute even more to these career opportunities that are coming up for you. Okay, so one more thing I want to know about, and it is this abrasive person, this person with the aggressive communication. It could be an Aries, could be a Sagittarius, could even be a Leo. It's most likely a man, or at least someone with masculine mannerisms. Okay, so this is someone who feels like they kind of know everything, who knows what the future entails, who knows what's ahead. And they come from a kind of know-it-all mentality. And like, they like being right too. That's another thing about them. They're kind of just waiting for the opportunity to be right all the time. And that's one of the really condescending and annoying things about them. That's why you might have to compartmentalize them over here. And then this is showing that even though they think they know things, they lack perspective on a lot of things. There's someone who has not actually been in your situation before, so taking advice from them is not particularly beneficial. So whoever this person is who talks to you as if they know everything. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of this coming up as advice, just kind of take everything that they say with a grain of salt. And again, make sure that you have your own strong foundation and that you have confidence in yourself so that you don't have to listen to everything they say. And this is also kind of a strategy for avoiding verbal confrontation with them. This is not about verbally disagreeing with them. This is not about indulging in their know-it-all behavior. This is not about confronting them because they're like a wall. They're not going to move. They're not going to compromise. They're not going to actually have a discussion. They just kind of want to be right and to try to force you to acknowledge that they're right. So this can be kind of like, nodding at them, being like, okay, whatever, and moving on with your day and having confidence in yourself and not even really letting what they say penetrate your skull. Like, let yourself be protected from their words. So there's a lot of mother cards coming up here. We have the Mother of Swords and the Mother of Cups. So we have some very kind of maternal energy saying that I feel like your mom most likely is someone who is a little bit more on your side, at least in this regard, and a little bit more understanding of how you have to be able to just follow your own path. So that'll help you kind of understand the foundation. Let me know if that isn't true, because I feel like that's not going to hit home for all of you. But for some reason we have these maternal cards showing up. It might be that there's other maternal figures in your life, or maybe that you've learned to nurture yourself in a way that doesn't leave you as vulnerable to some of these rude people who are out there. So this card again is reminding us this is someone who wants to kind of create a mess of things. They want to be able to fight, and they're ultimately going to waste time if we indulge in them too much. And part of the reason for this is they're not happy with their own dang life. Like, they act like they know everything, but if they did, they wouldn't be so unhappy. So that's kind of one of the biggest tells about what's actually going on with them. And this person's emotional incentive for the way they're acting is because they're afraid that you're going to surpass them. They're afraid that you're going to leave them behind, and that your connection with them is going to become irrelevant at some point. So that's kind of why they're acting like this. And that's why they want to be the one who's right so badly. Okay, what's going to come from this is they're actually going to realize that they have a lot to learn from this, and that but by the end of the year, like a little bit before the year ends, like maybe around November or something like that, they're going to start to take a step back, and they're going to stop being so in your face with everything. So that's what's going on there. It seems like they have a little bit of a sad story going on with them on a personal level, and they don't necessarily think about how arrogant they're being in the way that they talk to you. So it's probably better just to not waste your time with it. And yeah, I think that's about it. I do want to do one more reading, just like very general advice for Virgo in the year 2021. Like, what can we do in these various areas of our life to maximize our success in 2021? Okay, so we do need to be able to communicate our desires. We need to be able to communicate our wishes to other people, because there's a lot of people and a lot of spiritual forces who are very ready to help us this year. So you can write down some of your goals, some of your ambitions, the things that you want on paper. You can also communicate them to the people around you, and that should help you along your way. Don't expect any one person to kind of carry you through it, though. That's the one thing we want to avoid. This is about kind of putting our intentions out into the universe, like flower children. All right, this is telling us that there's some habits we have that really need to change in 2021. This could have to do with what time of day you actually wake up so that you can get started on your day earlier. That's the biggest one that's coming up for everyone. It's also going to be about what time you go to bed so you can get more sleep so that you can be better rested so you can prepare for the day. So I'm seeing that like balancing out the sleep schedule will help you maximize productivity, but also help keep you healthier. And that's a really important thing to do this year. Yeah, and don't just let yourself wake up whenever. I'm feeling like that's like a real risk for what's going on here. I know a lot of us are working from home right now and we're creating our own schedules, but that's not all of us. That's just kind of what I'm getting from this though. All right, in terms of money, it's going to be about balance, and it's also going to be about allowing yourself to grow. So it's a save a little bit of money, invest a little bit of money type of mentality. Be willing to take a little bit of a leap, but not a crazy leap. Just a small, well thought out, balanced step forward, if you will. Don't get too caught up in the decisions you can make, though. So there's a difference between things being balanced and well thought out and then ending up with analysis paralysis where you feel like you have to totally commit to either one path or the other. So this is kind of about saying, you know what, I'm going to pursue both paths to some extent. I'm not going to choose between one or the other when it comes to money. So I'm not going to choose between saving all my money versus investing all my money. I'm going to save a little bit of money. I'm going to invest a little bit of money. And that's just kind of one example as to how that could play out. So emotionally, we do need to be able to explore our pain in the year 2021, and don't stop yourself from trying to feel that, because I guess that's part of the key to how we can kind of unlock some of our potential. Really, I know it sucks. I don't like that answer, but that's the answer. Sorry. And in expressing your pain, you don't have to do everything right. You don't have to have everything like super figured out. Nothing has to be solidified. This is about you just letting yourself be a little bit emotional in ways that don't necessarily have to make sense, and in ways that don't necessarily have to be productive. So this is kind of about breaking free from some of the pain that you felt in the past. And, whereas pretty much all Virgos have a very structured mindset about how they should deal with everything, this is saying that it might not be structured. It might be kind of messy and you need to let yourself deal with it. But getting enough sleep is going to help you deal with it properly. Other than that, it looks like we do have a lot of really good blessings coming up for Virgos in the year 2021. So just make sure you're taking good care of yourself. And I think you're already on the right path. So let me know in the comments below how you felt about that video. If you liked the video, feel free to share the videos with your friends. I have a natal chart calculator in the descriptions below if you want to be able to find you or your friend's sun, moon, and rising sign. And I hope to see you again. Hit the subscribe and the notification bell if you want to make sure that you don't miss any videos. Bye.